listeners who've already had tributes. And and don't worry, I'll get you guys out there. But one of the special guests we've always had at this reading is Gary Carden, and he hasn't been with us quite as much, and I definitely always wanted to do a tribute to him, but I just couldn't really think of anything of how to really make it. But with the end of the year coming up, this is the time for miracles. So, and just note there is a clever play on words here towards the end. But if you know why it's hilarious, don't blurt it out. But it's nothing offensive. Okay, great stories take a long time to create because life loves inspiring new details to enhance the many fine details that prevents words from being bland or unable to relate to a random audience made of every cynic or too engrossed with what's on a screen to appreciate the life of a storyteller, still able to dive into their past to share some of the greatest moments with anyone wanting to lend an ear. Centuries of human history were filled with stories told over and over when the concept of creating books or scrolls were meant only for the wealthy to sit alone in the dark, just reading, instead not being across the room from someone who can still remember weird events from their childhood, said through zillions of information on new technology or understand higher learning, while stories from the past yearn to step into the spotlight once more before time runs out and precious memories are forgotten. Extreme love for stories isn't a bad thing if you find someone who's good at what they do, and a long wait between each reading creating more than one form of anxiety. It said, and if the next story can be shared, vexing fans who worry about the declining health of a beloved storyteller, and always worried of the unknown time span of being able to see such a person to learn if they are still able to share their stories. Trailing off like planes trail with a craft barely visible in the sky as it drifts to places unknown. Stories are meant to be shared, even dark ones, because those who come to hear such outlandish tales require an outlet for the chaos in their lives, and having a diversion of someone else's trials and travels quiets the ever-blowing storm called humanity that often sweeps many around like dust bunnies while promising little to no relief. So comparing stories makes the impact of your life seem less foul. Open the catacombs of your mind to find something to share to help others feel assured in taking the never easy bound into the future while drawing from the past so that the road is less dark and mysterious, knowing that anything can happen to challenge anyone. Though overcoming such obstacles, light the way while showing others how reliving the past prove that you've lasted so long. So please, kneel in the presence of those who have made it a lot longer than you, and hope that you can do the same. Jarring experiences are meant to be pleasant at the time, but allows everyone to grow so that the imaginary world where everyone accepts being gray and never opens up about their lives to allow any healing from a small laugh at knowing that there is still more to come, and you haven't been beat yet. So did you guys get the little play on words?
Neil.
Yes. Yeah, his name is Gary Neal, so. Unfortunately, Avram's not been here to film everything, and he's figured, do that. And I said, it's been so long since we've heard anything about the life of a plumber, and it's just something you kind of can't stop. Okay, another trip into the depths of old pipes to seize what has gone wrong in the incredible labyrinth of bending metal to transport water and other fluids from one part of a building to another, creeping away with a strange gurgling noise that scares me into calling an expert to escape the deluge from a ruptured pipe of things most people don't want to see after leaving their bodies. Even detailed schematics aren't enough for amateurs to brave the unknown mess in order to save a few dollars, but admitting you're wrong comes with a higher price, and cleaning up the disaster of greatly underestimating a blockage or worse, and you'll still need someone with great skill to come heal the situation enough to shed light on why people go to school to earn money and not to impress their friends with stories from work, not to go right to the top of the list when things go wrong. Jumble messes are bad enough on the surface level, but when they occur beneath a scary house, keeping nerves high while literally testing the breaking point of structures as fear prevents the call to learn, what happens when methane, old food, and other chemicals build up and want to return to the mysterious world above to create a modern-day horror movie to scare everyone who sees the dreaded nemesis of cleanliness return to ruined days of sweet air and with darkness and an odor worse than death. Said, over the edge is something people rarely want to do, but there are those who have to dive feet first. Plumbers don't get enough respect for what they can see on the job, and that takes a strong stomach, quelling the urge to run away from the dangers of what works below, waiting for a chance to rise again. Remember to treat your home with respect, and the odds of needing a plumber will greatly decrease, securing a little peace of mind. However, if such a need arises and you want things done right, treat your acquaintance with respect so that karma doesn't produce further problems, promptly undermining the feeling of not being in a thick lagoon of who really wants to know that everyone vies for a clean house from having an ounce of prevention and finding a danger before it starts, while Wonder Bread can be used to fix pipes and can go back to normal with this actual slice of wonder. So explain the wonders of being a plumber is best done from someone who has been there and not some yuppie website meant to scare people into looking for bizarre dangers that don't exist while inspiring zero confidence in amateurs. So trust your plumber no matter what, and life will flow so much smoother. Okay, this last one is for Wanda Mills. I mean, this woman has, those who know, has definitely been dealt an interesting hand in life with her palsy, but she has not let that come out there. I mean, she has her little chat books, and just the fact in the poem that said "See me," said that's the one thing that always stuck with me the most. So if you ever get to watch this, Wanda, this is for you. Warriors come in many forms, but the rarest are those who keep trying on the battlefield of normalcy, vaulting over any physical limitations just to be seen as human, and not some smudge on the lens under the clear blue sky meant to give many a false sense of reality of an unobtainable perfection when turns down the road of life can lead to injury and disaster, ruining the idea of the impossible utopia someone else created, jeering knowing that there will still be people who are born different and they often require a little more help with everyday tasks. However, that doesn't mean that they aren't real humans who quietly suffer from not being given an occasion to share who they are on the inside and yearn for this. It's a precious instant when someone new comes along and wants to find out more about this new wonder. Opportunity doesn't knock as often as it used to, so with the volume reduced to a small tapping so that not many so-called normal people are able to introduce themselves to the world, leaving the various misaligned people to feel even worse to even try one new thing to step a little bit more into the light. Leading out of the shadows, hoping that another kind soul will notice that someone else is wanting one kind gesture to inspire confidence to take additional steps into the road without any care, so that the justice of finally being acknowledged is finally served, and that for once, in such a long time, the warrior is invisible to everyone else. And with some luck, others will finally be able to observe his forgotten face. Help those who can't see those around him, who aren't perfect, while providing support so that they grow to feel confident once seen, so that they don't fall into the lure of the shadows being their only friend once more, making the world a lot less bright from another good person fading into the dark. So everyone has issues and insecurities, but it's how we tell life no and go against it in order to grow and discover what delights have been looking inside our hearts from the moment we came into existence, so to create a better world from not sinking back into the oblivion because society is fashioned differently, blind to those who are still able to function because they desire to, driven by a heart bursting with love. Across our world, many people have very little, but life is precious to them, while those of plenty zip their minds up to the idea that there are exceptional people who will do anything that they desire, yelling to the heavens that they have their own special way, that they will not be forgotten, and that there are more exciting adventures for those who enjoy life because it was given to them instead just to be a human being. And that's it. she can come back and see us sometime.
Now, I thought you were going to read Brent Kinzer's poem.
That's second.